Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I am Viking Wizard and I'm going to be doing a gig review. So on Saturday I travelled all the way to Burnley and I went to see the mighty Chrysalid and two other bands, which I had a brilliant time. So it started off on Friday. I got back from work because I finished at 4. I got literally back for about 5. Jumped in the shower very quickly, had a shower and everything, and then I got the train to Burnley. So I stopped along the way, got to Crewe, where I met up with the missus, and then we got the train to Burnley. I think it was 3 hours, 3.5 hours to get there, which I was done in after work, so just wanted to get to the hotel and literally just sleep. But we got to the hotel, checked in, then we Ubered a McDonald's, because instead of walking there we Ubered it because we were both knackered, had a bit of grub, and then we just crashed and went to sleep. But pillows in the hotel, it was like sleeping on concrete. They were bloody horrible. I keep forgetting about the pillows in hotels. Most pillows are no good, so I keep forgetting that with my suitcase is to put a couple of different pillows in. So the ones that I use are obviously better than these ones that were like concrete. But yeah, in the morning we got up and I met my friend Martin, and we went to his, we chilled out a bit, and then we went to the Sanctuary in Burnley. I've never literally been to that club or pub. I've never been to the pub slash venue, never been there, so it was my very first time. And it's Martin's stomping ground, as he says, so he was there a lot when he was younger, which I thought was cool. The venue was pretty cool. It was I thought that's really cool and I'd happily go there again. But as I've said, the reason why we went to Burnley is because of my good friend Martin. I went to disturb him for a bit also, and then we checked the tour dates and everything, and at the moment it showed up Burnley and I believe it was London. So I thought I'd go to the Burnley one because then I could obviously get my friend Martin and he can join me and we can have a laugh and, you know, see my good friends again. But I didn't literally know, but they were doing a tour, they were doing a show in Stoke. And for Stoke from here, it would have been like an hour, if that, or something like that. So, you know, I could have gone to the Stoke one and it would have been a lot easier because the missus lives in Uttoxeter. So I could have gone there after and just stayed at hers. But I didn't know till later on, until I planned at Burnley. Then when I planned it all and I found out they were doing a Stoke date, it was like, oh well. But still had a great time. We got to the venue like an hour before the doors opened. I was worrying because, you know, I tried to look everywhere online to find out tickets and stuff. Then I was told by my good friend Martin and also Chrysalid, also Emmanuel Thorsten messaged me and said about the gig times and whatnot, and then I wasn't told by a couple of people that it's pay on the door, which was like, oh okay then, so you don't buy tickets in advance, which I thought cool. But I was still worrying because I overthink about everything. But there was 3 bands on the bill. Obviously I came to see Chrysalid, but the first band that came on were called Bad Smell, and I was just laughing at the name. And then we made jokes most of the evening, and we were making jokes about the band. I said I think there's a bad smell coming from you know, the main stage, coming from the stage. And I know the band actually joked and said if you look on Google and you type in Bad Smell, God knows what's going to come up. And we was laughing our head off. They're a pretty cool band. I thought they were cool, and I thought I like the sound and everything. So they're a band that I've added to my list, because I've got a list probably like that high or something like that. I've got a list of bands, and them are the bands that I've seen live that I don't know much about, and them are the bands that I need to dip into more. When I get a moment, I need to check that band out more because they sound pretty cool and I want to check more of them. But that was cool. And then Chrysalid came on, and there was what I was expected. They were a hell of a live band. That was a band of the evening, and oh my God, Emmanuel Thorsten, he don't half have pipes. His vocals are absolutely awesome. I was actually saying to a couple of people, because when it's, you know, after the gig, I was saying to a couple of people that I mentioned about the gig, and I said, yeah, Emmanuel Thorsten, he reminds me of a very early Matt Barlow from, you know, like early Ice Turf, and then obviously Ashes of Aries, and he's done like Powersymphonic, and he's done a couple of other things. But he reminds me of a Matt Barlow, which was awesome. But yeah, after the their set, I had a little chat with him, which I thought was cool, and we had a chat, and I said, thank you. I said, your set was awesome, and, you know, thank you for performing and all that sort of stuff, which was awesome. And then I had something which took me back, which I'll show you after the, I mentioned about the next band, and it was the last band, which was, I believe they were the headliners, Seventh Son, and they're a new wave of British heavy metal band. And the singer was saying that the last time they came to Burnley and played was in the 80s. He was saying a lot of stuff about taking the mic and saying a lot of stuff about Burnley, which everybody was laughing. And then he mentioned about something about the most famous person that came out of Burnley, who was a working class hero, was somebody called Fred Dibner. Now, I've actually seen some of his stuff on YouTube in the past, and I've watched it. I don't know, he just like climbs up chimneys, knocks chimneys down, and does various other things, which I've seen the videos, and up there in the freezing cold. Full respect to the man. But I know supposedly in Burnley was a legend, and the stuff I've seen, which I thought was cool. But the gig was absolutely fantastic. The sound was perfect and everything. And then after the Chrysalid set list, when I chatted to Emmanuel Forston, he said, I've got a CD for you, which I was like, I'll give you a copy of the first record, which is Back on the Street. And that took me back. And I was like, he said he'll give me a copy, and I was like, I was not expecting anything, free gifts or something like that, which I thought was awesome. And I said I would get a YouTube video done on the gig. And yeah. So then after the gig, after what was the band now? After Seventh Son, after they finished, I went over and spoke to him, got some photos with him. So he got some photos with me, so I'm gonna have to get them photos, if he's got them on his Facebook, to send them me on Messenger or something like that, because then I can add them to my Facebook and also to Powersymphonic. But Back on the Streets is their debut album. This was released way back in 2022. Now I'll get that and I'll show you that in a moment. But after the gig, when I spoke to him, he gave me that, and then he handed me and gave me as well a t-shirt, which this literally took me back, because he gave me a t-shirt as well, and I could not believe it. I was like, thank you so much, dude. I was literally chatting to my good friend Martin, who was on about it, and he said he bought some merch, and I was literally ready after the gig. I was going to go straight to there and literally buy the CD that was missing, and then check to see if I had funds for the t-shirt. If not, I was going to say, if you could put one to one side, something like on your store with a large, and I would definitely be buying one off you. But he gave me a shirt, and it still took me back. And I don't expect nothing for free. As I've said to people, I don't expect free albums and all that sort of stuff. But when somebody does that, it always takes me back, and got a bit teary-eyed, because I thought, so thank you so much for that, dude. I fully appreciate it. You are incredible. I love supporting all the localish and upcoming bands, but especially all the power metal bands, because as you all know, I'm an immensely huge power metal fan. But it was cool that it was a large, so I'm gonna happily wear that, as I do with most band shirts. When I first get a brand new band shirt off a band, usually, as a few people said, just stick it in a wash, because of sometimes you get like the excess dye or something like that off some of these shirts with bands, which fully understandable. But yeah, gig was awesome. After the gig, we went back to the hotel. We literally got back to the hotel, and we were just absolutely shattered. So we got back, I think it was like 2 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. or something, because the bands didn't start till like 10 or something like that, which usually with gigs you'll get bands doors open at 6 and the first band is like on 7. But it was a bit odd that the times were changed, but still I had a fantastic evening. So yeah, 2024, their second studio album, Breaking the Chains. I've literally unboxed that, and it's on my YouTube channel, so if you want to check that video, it's somewhere on there. It is a hell of an album. I've not been able to stop playing it, and I played it all last week before the gig. So you've got Overture, which is their instrumental track, and then Eternal Flame is my favourite off this album. But then I do love War of Illusions and Breaking the Chains. The whole album is absolutely awesome, and I can't wait to... I have listened to this once, their first album, because I was too busy giving this a full go. So I listened to this one and it's awesome, but I can't wait to get into the CD version, and I'm happy to have both in my collection, which was awesome. The other bands, I would have got some of their merch, but lack of funds, because I had to, I think it was like 70 quid to Burnley for an open return. A bit expensive, but it was worth it to see the bands I love. But look at that. That was well. I was still taken back by it, and I'm going to play the hell out of it. You've got the back with the 15 songs and then an extra track, Hellbound. Awesome. It's well cool. So I'll show you the disc, which is there, and then you have inlay. That's cool. Let me put the disc away and then I'll show you the book. These are the things that I love, is the localish bands or the up and coming bands, when you can tell CDR, which is cool, and you can tell from a band, like I've got loads of these and I love them, because bands, the bands that are just starting out and say it's their debut album or something like that, and they're localish, and you can tell for the production what they've done with the limited funds that they have. They release masterpieces like Hammerfall, Glory to the Brave, absolutely masterpiece. And then you got like Sonata Arctica, their debut studio album was awesome, so fans with limited money is cool. But lyrics, which I love a good lyric book, which is cool. And then there's the members. So you get Guilherme Piexeter, bass, I think that's how you pronounce it. Emmanuel Thorson, what a singer, what a dude, such an awesome guy, a very awesome friend. Fabrizio Rocha, guitars, oh cool, he's wearing a Metallica shirt. And then Yassi Tyler, I think that's how you pronounce it, on drums, which is awesome. Then we have more of the lyrics. I love the track Freedom Call. Special guest, I'm just having a look. Tim the Ripper Owens, I know he's on Breaking the Chains. He's on Eternal Flame, which is an awesome track. So he's on a couple of these tracks, but I'm just checking to see if Marius Danielson. Oh, Timo Tolkki. Oh my God. Eric Bruce. Ralph Sheepers. Timo Tolkki. Steve Grimmett from I'm trying to figure the name now. It's just literally gone straight on. Grim Reaper. I believe it was Grim Reaper. This is awesome. There's some really cool guest musicians on here. But that's awesome. So, yeah. And in the back with the credits and stuff. But, yeah, after the gig, Sunday, we got up. Me and the missus had a look around CX. And I went video game shopping. I didn't even know Electron was open of a Sunday in Burnley, and Electron is a really cool record shop that I went in the last time I went to Burnley with Martin, but I didn't know it was open. I also would have gone in there and literally gave an eye, literally sold a kidney just so I could buy a hell of a lot of stuff, because there's loads of cool stuff in there. But yeah, so this has been the Chrysalid Seventh Son and Bad Smell gig review. And as you can see, both albums, and I'm going to be playing the hell out of that one, and I'm going to be playing that one a lot more. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. As you can see, the Powersymphonic flag is not up on the wall, because I did take it with me, because I was going to get Emmanuel Thorson to sign it, but me being a silly prat, I left it in the hotel and I forgot about it. And then by the time I'd got to the gig, I realised, and I was like, it's a bit late. As we were going upstairs, I thought it's a bit late for me to go to back to the hotel, because it's I think it was like a 10-minute drive or something, just to pick up the flag. But I thought I'll catch him next time and I'll get him to sign my Powersymphonic flag. But yeah, I'll put a link in the description to this band, so if you want to check them out, you must check them out. They're absolutely awesome, absolutely fantastic band. So is another band, which these ones are from Yorkshire, Sellsword. They're at Power Metal Quest Fest again. I've seen them like 3-4 times. They're another UK power metal band which is worth listening to. So I'll catch you in the next video. I do run a group on Facebook called Powersymphonic, which everybody knows, and when you can see the flag, it's always up there, and it's dedicated to stuff like Chrysalid, Iced Earth, Gamma Ray, Hammerfall, Sellsword, Stratovarius, Nightwish, Epica, Delane, Camelot, Stratovarius, all that sort of awesome stuff, Sabaton, Twilight Force, Freedom Call, Maria Stenilson's Legend of Valley Doom. There is absolutely tons of bands on there, and it's stuff like power metal, symphonic metal, epic metal, fantasy metal, neoclassical metal, traditional metal, operatic metal, space metal, sci-fi, prog power, USPM, video game metal, all of that sort of wicked stuff. And we've got like 8.1k members at the moment, which is cool. And I'm always posting in that group. I try to post at least once a day, and I'll post new bands, but I'm just about to post some of their stuff in my Powersymphonic group, especially stuff off the first album. And I cannot wait to give that one another listen and give that a go, give that a listen again. So hope you'll enjoy this. If you're new to this channel, if you would like to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, all of that sort of awesome stuff, because as I said, many unboxing videos I do, I've just literally had a CD turn up. I'm not going to ruin it. There's a quick shot, but that's going to be on my latest haul. So if you can guess that in the video, you can guess what it is, and that's cool. But yeah, so many unboxing videos. I show off tattoos, Rammstein, Saxon, Ozzy, Dio. I'm on a arm, and then on my leg I've got Sabaton and a Hammerfall, and that's my Powersymphonic leg. So it's all going to be power metal, symphonic metal, and all that Powersymphonic goodness. Because as you all know, I'm an immensely huge power metal fan. Anything with dragons, wizards, knights, definitely right up my street. So this band was definitely right up my street. So yeah, gig reviews, talk about the bands that I'll show off my collection, all of that sort of epic stuff. So I hope you all enjoyed this gig review / mini unboxing, and I'm showing you this off. And I'll catch you in the next video. So Viking was signing off. Have yourself a good one, and see you later.